Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And we are going to take a quick look at Indy-rella by Zentangle this week. And Indy-rella is a really simple, really fun, organic type of tangle that looks great with other tangles, but also by itself. So for this project, you can choose between either using your basic black pen with a tortillon and the number 2 pencil, or you can do this all in color. I have a selection of 8 different colors here, so I have a rainbow of colors, and you'll need a white tile. So if you're using the black pen, that's totally fine. You can just follow along. I'm gonna put that off to the side here. I'm going to use full color today. So I am using these fine liners, which I really, really like. And I'm going to start with the red one. But before I do that, I am going to take my pencil and put a little dot approximately in the center. You don't have to measure. You can just um, approximate and put a little dot in the center so we kind of know how we're working out. And we're going to work, imagine an X along here from corner to corner and corner to corner. I'm not going to draw it in. We're just going to picture that in our minds. And then I'm going to take the red pen to start. You can start with any color that you would like. And we are going to start with one Indy-rella. And what's awesome about Indy-rella is that it's simply, and again, we're working on this diagonal here, a dot. So I'm a little off from my center. I'm just putting a dot and a curved line. From there, at the beginning, our curved lines are going to get a little bigger. And yours might be a little curvier or less curvier than mine. So they go from the dot to a small curved line, a little wider and wider and wider. And then we start bringing it back in with smaller curved lines. Make them smaller and smaller and smaller. And I like to end up with a couple of dots. And what's really interesting about the Indy-rella is that these lines never connect. They never touch. So that is one Indy-rella there. And then we're going to build on that. So from my first one, I like to work my way down. So a little after my widest curve, I'll put another dot. I'll make that a little bigger so you can see it better. And then it's the same thing. We have our little curves, but I'm kind of fitting it in along my previous one. Getting wider, maybe one more. And then I'm going to make them smaller again. Add some dots. Dots are optional. I just kind of like to add them in there. And then I'm going to put one on the other side too. A dot, small curve, larger curve, and larger. I'm not counting. It's just more following my heart and visually what I feel is appealing. So we have 3 now, and I feel like it's time to change color. So I am going to put the cap on my red and set that aside. And I'm going to take my orange one. I'm going to rotate a little bit more. And I'm going to work next to it. Although you could, if you want, work on the opposite. That works fine too. But I'm just going to go around. So I'm rotating my tile and I'm going to imagine my diagonal there, put a little dot there, and a curve. And I'm just going slowly making them wider until I feel like that's wide enough. And then I'm going to start making them smaller. It takes a little practice. And once they get small enough, I'm going to add some little dots. And my goal is, again, along this diagonal. If it's helpful to you to draw that in lightly with a pencil, go ahead. And now, just like before, we're going to add two more, one on each side with our orange. If you're doing this all in black, you can just follow along without changing color, and it's probably going to go a little faster for you. And then the one on the other side. And this one I'm going to squish in a little closer, like that. I'm going to rotate and switch from my orange to my green. This is a light green, kind of a spring green. And now again, we're working along this diagonal. Put in a little dot. And then start filling in my curves. I really like these fine liners. They come in a variety of colors and they're pretty reliable and just really fun to work with, actually. And we're doing the same thing here with another one on each side. And you can squish them in. And maybe this one I'll start a little lower. Make sure that you can see that. Like that. I'm going to put the cap on the green, the light green. Pick up my light blue. And we're working on this diagonal now with our final dot there. And put in our curves. Again, I'm not counting. I'm just kind of going by how it looks as far as it getting wider. And then I feel like now would be a good time to bring it back in and make them smaller. And then we can put one on each side. Like that. And that brings us back to where we started. I'm going to put the cap on the light blue. And I'm going to pick up my pink one. Now I'm working on the spaces in between our original colors. And actually, so we're working on these lines, like north, south, and then we have east and west, right? So we're just going to see the space here. We're going to tuck one in there. I'm going to put a dot. And then my curves. And here we're kind of limited by space as far as width. So we have to kind of follow along And because there were these here, it already needed to the curves needed to become smaller. And then we're going to put in one on each side like we did before. I'm going to rotate and switch colors. And I'm going to go with I don't think it's a dark green, it's just a green, but it's going to look darker next to our light green. And we have the space in between here, in between the orange and light green. Put a dot and start with our curves. And again, we're going to be kind of limited by the space that's already there for this one. But that's what makes this so organic and so fun. This one's going to be much smaller. So you can make these as big or as small as you like to. And rotate around. And we're getting this nice kind of flower image filling in here. I'm going to switch to purple just because I'm trying to fit in all of the colors, as many as I can. Start with a dot and our curves. Again, I'm kind of limited on this one by the space that's available. And then we'll do one on the right. And rotate as you need to. And then we've just got one more color to go. And I have a brown, or simple brown. And again, filling it in the space that's available to us for this one. This one's a little wonkier, but that's okay. And you can add as many dots or no dots. That's totally up to you. And I'll put the one on the right. And the one on the left. And that is our Indy-rella in full color. And it formed kind of this really cool flower shape. And you could actually keep going with another layer of colors. I kind of like it the way it is, not too much. Um, but if you would like to keep going, you could totally expand that out. This would also look great on a Zentangle or in the center of a Zentangle. So there's a lot of things you can definitely do with this. Once you're finished with inking it in, whether you're doing full color or working with just your black pen, we can do some shading. And I like to do this very simply. I take my number 2 pencil and I pick either the left side or the right side, and I do it the same. I shade the same on all of them. So I'm going to shade to the left. And I'm going to do kind of a medium pressure. And I'm shading along all of these the ends of the curved lines to the left. Rotating as I go. You can see this goes really pretty quickly. So if you're adding more Indy-rella, you're just going to fit them in the areas that are left behind. And you can just squish them in. Remember, they don't all have to be the same size. Some of your Indy-rella can be really small. Others can be quite large, like our center ones are quite large. And just keep filling in along the left, or if you chose the right, fill those all in. Got one red one left. Here we go. And once you have that done, you can take your tortillon, and yours might look different from mine. Um, but take your favorite tortillon, and we're just going to start in the center here and just back and forth, kind of rub that back and forth. And then what's really cool is along the dots, you can pull that off here, like off into the white space. And it kind of adds this really nice tail to it, like that. And then you just keep going around and around like this. And it goes, again, it goes really, really quickly. Goes very quickly. And that's one of the reasons that I didn't go with another layer is because I like to kind of drag that off and add extra shading that way. So I use that space in that way. So again, it's very quick, but we get this wonderful result with just our ink pens and our pencil and a tortillon. And then you can extend these as you would like that. And that is our finished Indy-rella flower. And then you can take whichever color is your favorite and you can add your initials. Um, you could incorporate it in there, but in this case, I think I'm just going to add it down in one of the corners here. Just something I don't often do, but I'm going to do it for this one. And then we can flip this over and we can fill this out. I'm just going to use the pink because that's what I have. And it's 2025, and this is our Tangle of the week. I think we're on number 16, and the date is already the 16th. Hard to believe, but it is. And this is just called Indy-rella, and it's by Zentangle. And we have this lovely flower all done in Indy-rella. And I just wanted to show you that I also did one in black. So I'm going to put that beside it. So if you did yours all in black, this is what it would look like, which is also equally cool. And just make sure this is focusing in. Yeah. Okay. So I've got the full color one and the one just done in the black ink. And from here, you could actually take some colored pencils or your favorite markers or whatever media you would like to use, and you could add color. So I did shade this also on the left, but you could add your color on the right, and you could get a full color project that way. Either way, it's a really cool looking project with just the one tangle, the monotangle Indy-rella. Try combining it with other tangles as well for different effects. But this is one of my go-to tangles where if I'm feeling stressed or anxious and I just want to spend a few moments to be present and focused, this is a great one to help me with that. And I hope it helps you as well. And I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for joining me today for this quick little demo. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Take care, be well, and remember, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. Bye.